Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Bobby's Business Club, the chat show. We have the wonderful Maria Heels. It's not really Maria Heels, it's Maria Davies. For months and months and months, I thought your surname was Maria Heels. So Maria is here today. She's going to be telling us, learn how to 10x your revenue. Add this one spiritual practice into your day and you will see the results. It is simple, doable, and practical. Bless your incoming money and bless the sender with this one blessing. May you receive it back tenfold. I'm really excited to hear this. I love your presentations. I love networking with you, and I really can't wait to hear what you're going to tell us. The floor is yours, my friend. Take it away.
Okay, that's all I want to tell you. It's really simple. I do not like complex. It's hi everyone. So lovely to be here with you. I don't like complex, and I don't like to give complex things. We can all be complex, and we have so much noise out there. So when you, for list building, for instance, when you have a new subscriber, you say, thank you, welcome, and may you receive your intention tenfold. When you receive a payment for your product or services, you spend a moment taking a breath and saying, thank you. May you receive it tenfold. And that little blessing is actually a huge blessing, because you don't just say it, you actually mean it, because I want people that work with me to actually derive benefits, and may it expand their world 10 times. So whether it's money or purpose or love interests, expanding their relationships, expanding their community. And it's just a nice thing to do, isn't it? It makes me feel good. And when you send things out in the world, you do receive it 10 times. And I've got lots of evidence along the way that it works.
I know it works. I know it works. I know just from meeting you and people who have met you and your famous slogan. You can say your famous slogan if you want to say it. You're allowed to swear. No kids are going to watch it, so you can go for that.
I will. A lot of people that work with me say you can't make this shit up because it works. And putting intentions in the world, maybe confronting what the thing that I find the most, and I was the same, is, but how do I ask? Am I allowed to ask? How do I ask? Especially because I teach manifestation, and there's a lot of white noise around that. But it's how you do it intrinsically and what your belief systems are aligned with that invites new energies in. It's like, yeah, let's swim in these energies. Let's have a little dance. Let's peek behind the surface or behind the curtain, see what's coming. Be the master of your own stage.
That's so important, and because no one else is going to do that for us. No one else is going to put you on that stage. And if we don't look after ourselves, be it in normal life or business or whatever it is, even though we have great friends, you're my friend, Paulina's a great friend of mine, and they're always going to be there to support you, but it's your life. You do what you want. And if you put yourself on that stage and be confident with it, then good things can happen, can't it?
Absolutely. I've got this thing in my head that says, if not you, who? Now, we all know people that sell expertise, and you go, what? And then you know people that don't, and you go, you should, because I truly believe that we all have a soul family that we're here to serve. If you've been called and you stay awake at night saying, how can I get my message across? How can my soul family find me? Then you're here to serve. You've got a bigger mission than yourself. And I often tell my clients, I go, get out of your own way, what can you do today? What is one small thing that you can do today? Because you're here to be of service, not a servant. So that takes a long time to distinguish the two. So how can you be financially supported? How can you stay in your energy system and master that energy system? And then how do you give value? How can you be of service and provide that to the world and let them find you? And I'm also a believer that I don't need to search. If I put my hand up, if you're in consistently on your platforms that you choose, go to your networks, people will find you. Your soul family are looking for you. They're going to find you, and they do. I just posted something around that. I don't really follow a lot of rules.
Do you want to explain a bit more about that?
Well, I worked with a lot of linear coaches, and bless them for what they taught me. But I failed a lot of the times because I didn't really resonate with formulas or strategies. I had to find my own. And sure, I borrowed some strategy from here and a strategy from there. I'm quite strategic, but also non-linear strategic. So I do follow my intuitive processes. I teach how others can follow their intuitive processes. And when you're aligned with that, things are not hard. I've got this saying, effortless efforting. It's based on, if I can sit back, do my work and not stress so much, have fun. In fact, I told one of my clients, I said, hey, which platform should I work on? What's the best platform today? Hello, put your hand up if you know that. The algorithms change every day. No one knows it. They might have their stats, but it changes. So I say, if you're having fun, if you're sharing your message with joy and purpose and love and wisdom and being of service, they're going to receive that. Haven't you read things that seem okay, but there's something off? It's the energy behind it. If it's just a strategy and no connection to it, but if it's a strategy and you're really having fun and enjoying your life, because isn't there a lot of noise in the world? We don't want to be in that noise. We want to be uplifted and transformed without a lot of effort, because transformation is not easy, right? It's easier to stay in the know than to go into the not know. So the void, which is part of the transformation process, the void is when we do spiritual work, when we light our candles, when we say our forgiveness prayers, when we shout to the world, the universe, what we'd like to see in the universe, and then be of service. What story can I share that ignites someone's passion? Or really, what story can I share to ignite my passion?
So interesting that you say that. I wrote a newsletter last week about one part of my life, and I had to really delve back into that story and also look at pictures and stuff like that. And it's amazing what comes back at you when you really let it open up. And your brain and the universe is a powerful tool, and we've got to be kind to the world and kind to ourselves, or else what else do you expect back? If you put out there that you're a loser and everything's against me, then of course everything's going to be against you. It's just that same old thing. I always see yellow cars when I think about a yellow car. Well, yes, because you're looking for the yellow car and you're going to see the yellow car. There's no more yellow cars. It's just that you notice it more. And we have to be really kind to ourselves. But I wanted to go back to something you said before about, your skills and stuff. Sometimes people think, I haven't got a skill. But you do. Everyone's got a skill. Everyone's got a service that they can provide. And it's just having that mindset to be able to present that. And don't be so selfish to hold that skill back, because you can help somebody with that. And that's what we need to have in our mindset, is to be able to have gratitude, have thanks, say thank you, like you say, when we get a deal or a sale, because sometimes those deals and sales just happen, they can happen all the time and you just kind of get used to it. But by saying thank you to it makes you really feel better about that. Thank you so much for the sale, for letting me be a part of your business or whatever it might be. And gratitude goes a long way, doesn't it?
It does. That reminds me, because we're perpetually in forward motion. We're sort of what's next. So I've hit this mark. Now what's the next mark? What's my next goal? But if we don't take a moment to say, anchor your feet and say, thank you. I'm really proud of what I've achieved now. Thank you. And that just expands your world. So I teach agency and capacity is how do you expand your world so you can invite more people in? And agency is about what are you an agent in? What is your authority in this world? And that is a big but the day I said I was a teacher, even though I'm qualified as a teacher, I was like, how can I be a wisdom teacher? What is wisdom? Having said that, when you stand on your platform, your soul's mission comes, and there's a fruition, there's an ignition. So stand in your truth, and you'll always invite those who are meant to work with you in.
And it's quite funny because I was having a one-to-one just before we jumped onto here, a guy who's fairly new to networking, and I said exactly the same thing. Whatever you put out to that universe and what you want, make sure you're projecting it, you're screaming it, because the universe listens to everything. And people think you're crazy when you talk about this when they don't understand it. You're like, well, of course it's going to be like that. Why wouldn't it be? Because we are basically giving ourselves an internal message. And if we are saying, again, like I said before, if we're saying that we're not a good person or we're not this and that, then you're going to become that person. So I used to walk around when we were in the very first lockdowns. I just started Simplified Recruitment, and I was walking the dog, and I was just literally constantly thinking about franchises and clients and different industries, and picturing the logos and picturing the deal coming in and all this kind of stuff. And it happens. It works. It really does allow you to tune into that. And it's the same again, like I said before, about the yellow car. If I'm thinking, this has only happened a couple of weeks ago to me before I went on holiday. I was in a really bad space. There were lots of things going on. Personal life, business was being a pain. And I was just attracting trouble because my head was really negative. Went away for a week, reset myself. And now I'm back to the person I was. And now all this good stuff's happening again because I'm in that right mindset. I'm surrounding myself with good people and speaking to the right people all the time. And it's amazing what happens when you are projecting yourself to the universe.
Yeah, that's just so beautiful. We do need a reset. We're human. We're human. Especially things get on top of us. Challenges, how do you change it? How do you turn a challenge into an opportunity? It's like when we're in the challenge, I don't want to hear that, right? It's like, give me a hug. I am in a challenge. I need to respect the fact that I'm in a challenge, and I don't want to hear that there's something around the corner. But invariably, there always is something around the corner. But to be seen, held, and witnessed in the moment that you're going through a transformation or a transition by someone who really just wants to give you a hug, like that mama bear hug, there's something really valuable in that. So if you can do that for someone else, go for it. But I want to tell you a story about what you send, you get back, if that's okay. So I had a bout of cancer a few years ago, and I am a healer. So I'm a medical intuitive, and I've done a lot of healing over the years. And every time, and I get a lot of messages, can you send me healing? What's happening with my body? And I would always respond. Sometimes, it got on top of me. Sometimes there was a lot coming through. But I would always respond because people are in need, and I'm here to be of service. When I needed healing, and this gives me goosebumps and it makes me cry, but the amount of healing circles, prayers, messages. I had 10,000 emails when I came out of the hospital. I know that it comes back, if not tenfold, 1,000-fold. That has really inspired me to shout it out to the world. And if you're holding the space for someone else, know that that space will be held for you 10 times too.
So I mean, what you've gone through is obviously not a great scenario, but it's a beautiful outcome. And the fact that you really trust in the process, and you know, when we talk about prayers and whether you are religious prayers or not, at the end of the day, what it's all about is sending a positive, good message. So you can be kind to yourself and put that out to the universe. And I've only just recently learned that over the last kind of like few months, that whether you are religious or not, it's just about that positivity and this is what I'm expecting and this is what I want. And whether it's to a God or to your chair or just to wherever you want, it's about putting out a positive message of saying, this is what I want. I want to be healthy. I want this to go. I want whatever it might be. And it's so easy to do. We can do it in the middle of the night when we're asleep, trying to go to sleep, or in the morning. I do a lot of my meditation kind of, I call it streaming. In the morning, I kind of wake up, I go dozing off, waiting for the alarm to go off. I go into this meditative state, and that's when I start to really imagine and picture stuff that's going to happen over the next few months. I kind of forget about it by the time I go to work, but you know, good things happen and from it. And what's the alternative? You think about bad things and think about, you know, things that are going to make you depressed, and of course that's going to make you sick. Of course that's going to make you, you know, not want to get up and do things. And yeah, life is hard, but it's got to start with, and it sounds really cliche, but you've got to start with you. And if you're not being nice to yourself, you can't expect anyone else to be nice to you, because
absolutely, Bobby. But having said that, the positive, throwing that in the world, like literally inviting the world to reciprocate. But I also want to share that acknowledge when you're not feeling that great. Don't deny or depress or suppress. There's a reason. So like most of the time, and I've been doing this a long time, most of the time it's because we're tired. We need some space. So take some space and honor that fatigue or tiredness, because it's one thing on top of another. The world is so noisy. So regroup. I always say, find your way to regroup. So find some space for you, whatever that is. There's so many spiritual practices out there. And that's what I call spirituality, is really tapping into that soul. And what do I need now? And then how can I be of service?
I'm going to bring you in, Paulina, now, because you're sat there now. You're like, because you know, we've got different levels of business owners on the screen right now, and you know, Paulina is a successful businesswoman in her own right, and she's, you know, got I think you've been operating for about 15 years in IIA, and so what's important to you? How do you get through that? How do you get through the bad days? What do you do to celebrate the good days? You know, you've got a lot of success behind you, and it must change as you grow. What kind of things do you bring into your day to make it a bit easier for you to get through the bad days?
I think it all comes down to experience, and we've all matured in our businesses. And I'm not the person that I was 15, 17 years ago when I first began my journey in the insurance business. I was one of those people that worried about everything and was worried about tomorrow. And with that mindset, I was just driving myself crazy. Whether now, if something bad happens, and it happens to all of us, right? I really try to refocus and think of, what am I blessed with? And I have so much to be thankful for, you know, every day. You know, I even said to my staff the other day that whatever is going on in the business now, I'm so grateful that I've got the team that I've got now and not my previous crew, because I would have been in a really bad spot if they were around. So, you know, just acknowledging and and just being happy for what you've got. We're all going to have bad days. We're all human. We'll, go up and down. But I've really learned in my business to just focus on tomorrow, but in a positive, really, really, really positive way, because there will be tomorrow. It might just be very different, because like in the regulated space that I'm in, you just don't know what tomorrow is going to bring and what, what changes are going to come. And like Maria said, every time we have a win, and we're a transactional business, so, we tend to forget to say thanks for this client. But when there's a big win, I rejoice. Nothing makes me happier, because not only did we get them as a client, but I always think we've helped them in a business.
Yeah.
So I see myself as an advisor in any business that we look after, but not necessarily for insurance. Sometimes it's business advice, or just a friendly ear, or, sad days and good days. So, but it comes with experience. I'm a huge believer that you can't just get out of school and be all positive, start a business, and it all works. We're all going to have failure. So, but yeah, I think it's what's in here and here.
I saw a great quote the other day, maybe on Facebook or LinkedIn, somewhere like that, and it said, "A bad day doesn't mean a bad life." And sometimes we can put all this pressure on others because it's happened right now. We've got to deal with it, but that could be just 1% of your day. But we blow that out of proportion, and all of a sudden it affects the next meeting that we're in, the email we're going to write, the relationship that we've got at home, and it's kind of like the skill is leaving that bad day or that bad moment of the day and let it be, and don't let it fester in your mind, because all of a sudden it becomes out of proportion, and you go, oh my God, I'm going to lose the business. People are going to hate me, etc. And really, it's just this one little thing that no one's ever going to think about ever again, only you.
Yeah, but in business, we've got to be the leaders, and something very little can change the world of your team. Like I have a WhatsApp group with my team, and every morning I say good morning to them. I know they're coming into the office and I'm going to see them, but I do that anyway. And then I send them some motivational picture or message. And I used to laugh at that. Now, if for some reason I get busy and I don't send it, they check in on me, go, are you all right? Because they told me, then I wait, what is she going to tell us today? And then they share it with others. So I didn't think that was it was just me. I didn't think it was going to affect other people I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Maria, back to you.
I think that's a great point, because we do affect those around us as leaders. And once you take that mantle, I am a leader, really earnestly, and what am I here to share, and what am I here to really observe and be curious about, and how can I uplift those around myself and those around me? There's something magical in that. Yeah, that's great. No, I love that.
So obviously the spiritual practice we're talking about, do you want to give us an example of how we can do what you want us to do, and how, does it have to be a certain time? Can it be at any point? Is it instantly when let's just say we get a new deal through and we get paid in the bank? Can you give us some examples of how we can use this practice?
Yeah. So a client pays you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Send them a message. May you receive it tenfold. That's basically it. It doesn't have to be hard, right?
No,
it's really that simple. May you receive it tenfold. And what happens invariably is they do, but they don't know how. And maybe they won't notice because it's so subtle. But when you invest in something that's aligned with you, you do get so much from it.
You definitely do. And if we can just add that a bit more, what's the word? Not politeness, but I'll say that back into business. Like very few people say thank you in the world, I find. And you can stand out from the crowd. And this actually brings me back to a quote that in the corporate world, my old boss used to have on the wall, it would be go the extra mile because it's always quiet, because no one does it. No one goes that extra mile. And so by turning around to that client and going, thank you so much, I really appreciate you and your business, which is what I do a lot. They go, oh, no one's ever said anything like that to me. And it makes them feel good. It makes them feel good. It makes you feel good. And like I said, the universe is always listening, whether it's good or bad, negative or positive. And the more positive you are about the world and what you do, the better it's going to be for everybody. Everyone wins from that.
Yeah, I will give you, I love that, Bobby. Yeah, go the extra mile. And I do believe we're so busy, but we're not busy enough to remember how kind and generous we are as human beings. We do want to connect with others, and we are grateful for the longevity in business too, and the service we provide. The other thing that I do is in the evening, I will say 3 things that I'm grateful for the day. So that's a lovely practice, and it helps me sleep well. And so if you're looking to sleep well, just say 3 things you're grateful for. And it could be, these sheets are really lovely and new, and I love them. I'm so grateful for it. The weather, oh, it's so mild tonight. It doesn't have to be anything out of your world. And then in the morning, when I'm asked, how can I be of service?
I've stopped doing it actually, but I have a gratitude diary. And normally what would happen is when we're having dinner, I'd write 3 things into that. And then the next morning I would read that back when I wake up. Because it would make me feel good in the morning. And I look back, oh yeah, I forgot that happened. Because I normally go to sleep, kind of everything resets, I forget everything else has happened. But when I read back at that, I go, oh yeah, good stuff did happen yesterday. It wasn't, you always kind of remember the bad things, but having that written down really allows you to go back over it. And that's something that I'd like to ask to you, Polina, that, with the years of experience you've got in business, how often do you go back and look at last year or the year before, or even the first year, to see how far you've come? Because to have the amount of experience you've got can sometimes, are you making progress the way you're going? So do you ever look back at things and see how far you've come?
Definitely. You have to in business, because otherwise, how do you measure your success? Often memory photos come up on Facebook or my phone. And it's, a Christmas party I've had, a few years ago, and I see different people then, and I know where they've gone, and I look at myself and I see where I've come to. That's usually when I do that mental check of going, I've come so far from that photo to now. I don't look at financial figures. I'm not really into it, because business fluctuates, you can have a good year or a bad year, but it's how you feel about that. So that's what I do. But also because we work with clients on a 12 months process, we do the renewals. I get really excited when people submit their figures and their businesses have grown. And all I say is, wow, I've been on that journey with them from the start or throughout their career. That excites me. So that's how I check in that I'm still with them, 15 years on. They're still my client. They're in business. I'm in business. We've got to be doing something well.
That's really good. Maria, back to you.
I love that. What I was thinking about when you were saying about dinner, Bobby, when I have 2 adult children, they're adults now, but when they were in high school, it was, how do you get them all to have dinner together? So we made a point of having dinner together, because I think the family that has dinner together has things in common. Anyway, I know there's so much busyness out there. But when we sat down and had dinner, I would ask everyone individually, what is one good thing that happened today and one bad thing that happened today? And they invariably focused on the good thing. And then the bad thing dissolved itself because we were in family time. And it would open up discussions and of challenges and opportunities to grow. And it was really good. And now I do it with my in-laws, like their partners, and they go, Mom. And I go, it's such a good practice, tell me one good thing or tell me how you're feeling today. And I think there's too many words. Here I am speaking too many words. There's too many words in this world. So I try and narrow it down to one thing. So how are you feeling today? One word. It's like, what? I can't do that. But invariably, it sort of just brings that noise in and makes you grounded and really offers you that ability to be present.
Before we wrap it up, do you want to give us some more information about the circles and any courses that you've got coming up in the next, either this year or next year? Because I know that you're a big person on that kind of stuff. I
would love to. My book is being uploaded at the moment, and it's like, so look out for Warrior to Warrior. It is intuitive tools for powerful women, and that's coming out. It'll be on Amazon, so have a look out for that. And Circle for next year, I'm already speaking to women about joining Circle for next year. It's a 12-month program, and very excited with the gifts that are coming into Circle. The women are so gifted.
And I know some of the people who have been on your circles, and I meet with them regularly, and they always come back to me with kind of these stories, and they're not sure it's going to work. And then a few months later, they go, you know what? Do you know what's been going on? And I was like, come on and tell me, and it blows me away. So guys, if you'd like to connect with Maria, all of her details are in the description. Obviously, I am here for you as well if you need to do an introduction. I'd highly recommend not only a one-to-one with Maria. She's got a lot of experience across a breadth of things and can bring lots of positivity and magic into your life, and it really does work. And obviously, Paulina is on the screen as well. She's a great networker. She's a networking queen. And we are looking, if you want to connect with Paulina, either you can reach out to herself with the details in the chat, or you can reach out to me and I'll do that for you. But thanks for coming on the show today, guys. Maria, you're a wealth of knowledge. We've been networking for a while, and you always bring warmth to the screen. I say the screen because we've only ever met through a screen. But you always bring a smile to my face, and sometimes you need that in business to have those people around you. So the last tip I'd give you, surround yourself by good people, and it's going to help your business tenfold, as the title of this chat show is called. I forgot what it was called. But
thank you
so
much for having me too, Bobby. Thank you.
Pleasure. See you soon,
and
guys.
Thank you, Paulina.